Woodcote A Grandstand. Was it worth £1,000 each? Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Paddock Mum. I'm Pamela, and today we're talking about one of the questions I've been asked more than anything since getting back from Silverstone. Would you sit in Woodcote A again? I've had so many messages asking where we sat, whether it was worth the money, what the view was like, and whether I'd recommend it. So today I'm going to tell you everything, from the seats themselves to the travel package we booked, what £1,000 per person actually got us, and whether I'd spend the money again. This isn't sponsored, nobody's asked me to say any of this. This is simply my honest experience after spending 3 full days at the British Grand Prix. So, the package. Before we even get to the seats, I think it's important to explain exactly what we paid for. Our package costs £1,000 per person, and that included much more than just a grandstand ticket. What we got for that is reserved coach travel, 3 nights at the Milestone Hotel by Best Western, breakfast on Saturday, Sunday and Monday, evening meals on Friday and Sunday, Woodcote A grandstand tickets for Friday, Saturday and Sunday, circuit entry for the full weekend, and coach transfers between the hotel and Silverstone, but also from Scotland. So we booked it through Ramsey Travel, and there was different stops all the way down the country. It started in Dundee. We booked ours in Perth, so there was a stop at Perth, and I'm not sure the rest of the stops, but after speaking to a few people that was on the bus, I do understand there was quite a few stops. So the coach travel, like I said, was included, but we didn't actually use it for the whole weekend. On Thursday, we decided to drive down south in the car because it was a 6-hour drive, and I personally didn't fancy getting the bus on a Friday morning to then go to the circuit. So I booked into West End Paddocks. We wanted the flexibility on our first day, and it really worked well for us. I only booked West End Paddocks maybe 6 weeks prior to the Grand Prix, and they still had space. I think it was about £20 for the full day, what I thought was fantastic. On the Saturday, we used the coach that was included in the package, travelling from the hotel to Silverstone and back again. It was nice not having to think about driving or parking and just being able to enjoy the day. And then on Sunday for race day, we decided to do something different again. We actually drove to Colchester. Now, I could be pronouncing that wrong, and I'm really sorry if I am. But we parked there and caught the shuttle bus into Silverstone. So between the 3 days, we actually experienced 3 different ways of getting to and from the circuit. If you're wondering which I preferred, I'd probably say they all had their pros and cons. Driving gave us flexibility. The coach was completely stress-free, and the shuttle was a really handy option in what is by far the busiest day of the weekend. One thing I do want to point out is that just because the coach travel is included doesn't mean you have to use it. We mixed and matched depending on what one suited us for each day, and it worked really well for us. So let's talk about Woodcote A. Overall, I thought it was a fantastic place to watch Formula One. The cars are absolutely flying around there. You get incredible speed, you can hear everything, and because they're carrying so much momentum through the section, it was one of those places where television simply doesn't do it justice. Watching it in person was completely different. So we were sat in P1 and P2, right in the very edge of the grandstand. Now, there are pros and cons to that. The good was the view itself was brilliant. You could see the cars attacking Woodcote. You could see so much of the atmosphere. And because we were on the end, nobody was blocking one side of us. It actually felt quite spacious. But being right on the edge also meant something we hadn't really thought about. Although Woodcote A is advertised as a covered grandstand, and technically it is a covered grandstand, our seats weren't actually under the roof. We were literally just outside the covered section. That meant when the sun was out, we got burnt. And if it had rained, we would have been soaked. So if you're specifically booking P1 or P2, just be aware of that. The roof doesn't really protect those seats. Another thing to consider, what we didn't realise before going, if you're hoping to watch your cars coming all the way down the Wellington Straight, P1 and P2 aren't far enough along. Your viewing angle just doesn't quite reach. So if that's something that's really important to you, I probably recommend booking somewhere around seat 150 or above. You'll get much more of that run down the straight before they arrive at Woodcote. So, Would I pay £1,000 per person again? Honestly, I would. Not because of the seat itself, but because of everything that came with it. Travelling was easy, the hotel was good, the meals took some of the stress away, and as a lot of people will have noticed this year at Silverstone, your prices on Thursday at the vendors within the circuit will not be the same as what they are on the Sunday. We noticed there was at least a £2 or £3 increase from kind of Thursday, Friday to Sunday. Having guaranteed grandstand seats all weekend was brilliant, and Silverstone itself is just an incredible place to spend 3 days. Could you do it cheaper? You probably could. But if you're someone like me who just wanted everything organised and didn't want the hassle of booking everything separately, a package is really the way to go. Would I sit there again? I would sit in Woodcote A again. Yes, I absolutely would. I loved it. It was so close to the gate where you came in. We had the circus of foods right beside us. We didn't really have to go far if we wanted anything. But I wouldn't choose P1 and P2 again. I'd booked further along into the grandstand, so I stayed underneath the roof and could see a little more of the Wellington Straight. For me, that's the only thing I would change. The atmosphere, the speed, the noise, the racing, absolutely fantastic. If you ever sat in Woodcote A, I'd love to know what you thought. Did you love it? Would you book it again? Is there another grandstand at Silverstone you'd recommend instead? Leave your experience in the comments because I'd genuinely love to compare them before I book next year's trip. And if you've got any questions about Silverstone, Woodcote A, the package we booked, or anything Formula One related, let me know because there's a good chance it'll become a future episode. Don't forget to follow the Paddock Mum on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more racing, reactions, and real conversations. And I'll see you in the next one.